Heno prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha. Heno prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha.
Prema Shri Chaitanya Lila Yata Tata
Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha.
Jagai Madai Pariyanta Katha
Heno prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha.
Hena Prema Shri Chaitanya Lila Yata Tata
Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha.
Jagai Madai Pariyanta Niraka Katha
Heno prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha.
Hena Prema Shri Chaitanya Lila Yata Tata
Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha.
Jagai Madai Pariyanta Niraka Katha.
Please repeat.
Hena Prema Shri Chaitanya Lila Yata Tata
Hena prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha.
Jagai Madai Pariyanta Hanyeraka Katha
Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha.
Hena Prema Shri Chaitanya Lila Yata Tata
Hena prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha.
Jagai Madai Pariyanta Hanyeraka Katha
Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha. Hena prema Shri Chaitanya dila yatha tatha. Jagai Madai Bhajanta Aniraka Katha. Hena such prema love of Godhead Shri Chaitanya Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Dila has given yatha anywhere tatha everywhere Jagai Jagai Madhai Madhai Paryanta up to them Anyera of others Ka what to speak Katha words. Translation. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen, such as Jagai and Madai. What then to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? Please repeat. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given this love of Krishna. Everywhere and anywhere. Even to the most fallen. Such as Jagai and Madai. What then to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The distinction between Sri Krishna The distinction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to human society and the gift of others is that whereas so-called philanthropists and humanitarian workers have given some relief to human society as far as the body is concerned, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers the best facilities for going back home, back to Godhead, with love of Godhead. If one seriously makes a comparative study of the two gifts, certainly if he is at all sober, he will give the greatest credit to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was with this purpose that Kaviraj Goswami said, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koroho Vichar Vichara korile chitte pave chamutkar. If you are indeed interested in logic and argument, kindly apply it to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you do so, you will find it to be strikingly wonderful. Chaitanya Charitamrita Dilila 8:15. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Dina hina jata chilo, Dina hina jata chilo, Hari name udarilo, Tar sakshi Jagai Madai. The two brothers, Jagai and Madai, epitomize the sinful population of this age of Kali. They are most disturbing elements in society because they were meat eaters, drunkards, woman hunters, rogues, thieves. Yet, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them, to say nothing of others who were sober, pious, devoted, and conscientious. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that to say nothing, the Bhagavad Gita confirms that to say nothing of the Brahminically qualified devotees and the Rajarsis, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Rajasayastata. Everyone who, by the association of pure devotee, comes to Krishna consciousness, becomes eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:32, the Lord thus declares, Mam hi parta viprashrita ye pishu papayonayaha striyo vaishyastata sudras tepi yantim paramigatim. O son of Prita, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, can certainly attain the supreme destination. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the two fallen brothers, Jagai and Madai, but the entire world is presently full of Jagai and Madais. In other words, woman hunters, meat eaters, gamblers, thieves, and other rogues who create all kinds of disturbances in society. The activities of such persons have now become common practice. It is no longer considered abominable to be a drunkard, woman hunter, meat eater, thief, or rogue, for these elements have been assimilated by human society. That does not mean, however, that the abominable qualities of such persons will help free human society from the clutches of Maya. Rather, they will entangle humanity more and more in the reactions of the stringent laws of material nature. One's activities are all performed under the influence of the modes of material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. Because people are now associating with the modes of ignorance, tamaguna, and to some extent passion, rajaguna, with no trace of goodness, sattvaguna, they are becoming increasingly greedy, lusty, for that is the effect of associating with these modes. Tadas raja tamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye. By associating with the two lower qualities of material nature, one becomes lusty and greedy. Bhagavad Gita 1:19. Actually, in modern human society, everyone is greedy and lusty, and therefore the only means of deliverance is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, Jai, which can promote all the Jagai and Madais to the topmost position of Sattvaguna, or Brahminical culture. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 18 and 19 state, Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajas tama bhava kama lobha dayaschaye cheta heta ranarvitam stitam sadve prashanati. Considering the chaotic condition of human society, if one actually wants peace and tranquility, one must take to Krishna consciousness movement and engage always in the Bhagavad Dharma. Engagement in the Bhagavad Dharma dissipates all ignorance and passion, and when ignorance and passion are dissipated, one is freed from greed and lust. When freed from greed and lust, one becomes Brahminically qualified and becomes situated on the Vaishnava platform. It is only on this Vaishnava platform that it is possible to awaken one's dormant love of God. And as soon as one does so, his life is successful. At present, human society is specifically cultivating the mode of ignorance, tamoguna. Although there may also be some symptoms of passion, rajaguna, full of kama and lobha, lust and greed, the entire population of the world consists mostly of Shudras and a few Vaishyas, and gradually it is coming about that there are Shudras only. Communism is a movement of Shudras, and capitalism is meant for Vaishyas. In the fight between these two fractions, the Shudras and Vaishyas, gradually due to abominable condition of society, the communist will emerge triumphant. And as soon as this takes place, whatever is left of society will be ruined. Ay, ay, ay. The only possible remedy that can counteract, the only possible remedy that can counteract the tendency towards communism is the Krishna consciousness movement, which can give even communists the real idea of communist society. According to the doctrine of communism, the state should be the proprietor of everything. But the Krishna consciousness movement, expanding the same idea, accepts God as the proprietor of everything. People cannot understand this because they have no sense of God, but the Krishna consciousness movement can help them to understand God and to understand that everything belongs to God. Since everything is the property of God, and all living entities, not only human beings, but even the animals, birds, plants, and so on, are children of God, everyone has the right to live at the cost of God, with God consciousness. This is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. End of purport. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sadvajantam Sadhana Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Padijana Satam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Savanam Sajivam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Kanta Namaste Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Yate Vrindavaneshwari Shabano Sudevi Pranamami Harihi Panchakalpa Daryascha Vipasindhu Vacha Patitaram Pamanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Mukham Bhavati Vachalam Pangum Lamire Grim Yatkriva Tamam Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Excuse me one moment. So today we're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, and this most beautiful verse where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya has freely distributed Krishna Prema yatha tatha, here and there, here and everywhere. Even up to Jagai and Madai. And in those days, in Navadvip was known as a seat of learning. It was where all the pandits and learned persons would gather to discuss about different topics. And if you defeated they would travel around India defeating the pandits, and they would get like a vijay, some sort of a bell they would hang. So you had this, they would get like a medal, so it was a bell, whoever defeated. So many people came to Navadvip, and Navadvip was considered the seat of learning. So if you defeated the Navadvip pandits, you were anyway. And in that society there was these two brothers. They were born in a very pious Brahmana family, and a very rich family, and for some reason or other they were introduced to these sinful activities, and they became very addicted to it, and they were very violent. So not only they used to drink alcohol and eat meat and commit all these things, but they used to also attack people and steal people's wives and attack women, and they were very, very feared by everybody in Navadvip. And they were committing these most sinful activities. And Prabhupada draws the parallel. He says, actually, today, everybody, society is like Jagai and Madai. And their activities are not even considered sinful anymore. It's become normal. It's become normal to drink, to have Shri Shri Radha Parishishwara ki Jai, Shri Shri Nitai Sachisuta ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki Jai. It has become, the society has assimilated this as normal, and now it's normal. We don't think it's so terrible. Although murdering and attacking women is still punishable by law, everything else is considered normal. So Prabhupada says the solution for this society is the Krishna consciousness movement. I thought it was very nice how he explains this. He says, currently we see there's two tendencies in the world. There's the Communist Party, which is very strong, very prominent, and then there is the capitalists, and it's true that they're becoming weaker and weaker. And Prabhupada compares them to Vaishyas and Shudras, and because of the age of Kali, it is favorable for the Shudra mentality, so they are going to become very prominent and very powerful. And Prabhupada, he proposes an alternative, the Hare Krishna movement, where we can say that we are communists in a sense, but we consider that everything belongs to Krishna, doesn't belong to the temple president or to the GBC. Everything belongs to Krishna, and everything is used for Krishna's service. So this is what Prabhupada is proposing as an alternative to the la dérive of this society. It's going to its own demise, running on 4 wheels, high speed. And Prabhupada is proposing an alternative, that everybody becomes Krishna conscious. And he says that it's very easy. Why? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come for this purpose. He has come to deliver people like Jagai and Madai. What to speak of people who are not like him, who are a little bit pious, who don't eat meat, or who simply are not thieves and rogues, or who are not committing sinful activities. So if you just change that little bit, then the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is even more readily available for you. This is what Prabhupada is saying. So because of this association with Tamaguna and Rajaguna, people have become very lusty and very greedy. So not only they're lusty, but they're never satisfied. They want more and more and more. And we see this is the state of the world. The rich countries want to be richer. The poor countries they cannot provide anymore. They're completely being abused, and the rich countries take advantage of it. And they said, okay, we will give you a little money if you take all our trash. Or now that they don't have any more, they cannot extract any more valuable things from there, they say, okay, at least take our trash. This is the Shudra mentality, actually. We just want to exploit some. Sometimes an example is given that I don't know how many people have been to India and they have bought some sugarcane juice, and you press the sugarcane through some in a machine to squeeze all the juice out, and you see the man, he will fold it and fold it again and fold it again until there is no more juice coming out, and then he throws it. So the materialistic mentality is compared to that. They will squeeze the material. They're trying to squeeze material nature, but of course they cannot. She's transcendental. The materialistic people, they try to exploit material nature, but they can't, because she's of a different nature. So they exploit other living entities or certain parts of the world, but they cannot really touch material nature. We're under her control. We cannot control her. She puts us in illusion, and we think that we're controlling the material nature, but it's actually impossible. We cannot control. And because of this, we're in this Tamaguna and Rajaguna with no trace, Prabhupada says, with no tinge of Sattvaguna. We just want more and more and more. We're never satisfied, and we cannot be satisfied, because this is the quality of Sattvaguna, to be satisfied with what you have. So Prabhupada says we have to take to this Krishna consciousness. He gave the whole purpose here. Wait, I thought it was very beautiful. Yes, he said when we're engaging in Bhagavad Dharma dissipates ignorance and passion. So this is what we're doing now. We're engaging in Bhagavad Dharma. When ignorance and passion are dissipated, one is freed from greed and lust. So this is how we can judge ourselves, where we are at right now. Are we still lamenting and hankering? Are we freed from? Do we want something that we don't have? Lust and greed. When freed from greed and lust, one becomes Brahmanically qualified. And when Brahmanically qualified, a person makes further advancement and becomes situated on a Vaishnava platform. So we can understand that we're aspiring for something quite elevated. We have a few steps before we can get there. It is only in this Vaishnava platform that it is possible to awaken one's love for Godhead. So even on the Vaishnava platform, then we have to take another step, and we have to awaken love of Godhead. And as soon as one does this, his life is successful. Only this. As soon as we do this, our life is successful. So Prabhupada said this process is very simple for the simple. How can we, it seems like we have to overcome so many things. In the Bhagavad Gita, lust, anger, they're described as great enemies. It's not a small little thing. They're great enemies, and they're very powerful, because we have been under their control for time illimited. Since time immemorial, we're in this Tamaguna, Rajaguna, with a little bit of luck, some Rajaguna, and they've become second nature to us. So how can we overcome it? And the key is we should become very simple-hearted. We have to become simple-hearted. They said when a child is, they say we have to learn how to cry out for Krishna like a child cries out for his mom. The mother can be anywhere. As soon as she hears the child crying, she will come immediately. So if we become dependent on Krishna like the child is dependent on his mother, as soon as we cry out to Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna will come. He will appear, but we have to develop this simplicity of heart. And in this duplicate, complicated, materialistic world, it's complicated because we don't even know what it means to be simple-hearted anymore. It sounds very interested. Sometimes there's this saying, I don't know here, but in Spain, to say that someone is simple, it means that someone is a little bit, has some intellectual challenges. You say, oh, he's simple. It has become like a negative thing. But no, and in Krishna consciousness, simplicity of heart is very much recommended. And it's just understanding actually that how minute and insignificant we are, and how we've put ourselves in this situation. We're so far away from home, in a foreign place where we have to die, and we become old, and we become sick. This is all foreign to the spirit soul. We've somehow fallen in this somehow, and we have forgotten about it. And not only we have forgotten about it, we have become comfortable in our forgetfulness of it, and we have become complacent with it, and we think, oh, this is good. This is not so bad. The material world. I have a nice place to stay, and I have some friends, and my family members like me, and we become complacent. But actually, we have to understand that all that can change with the snap of a finger, and we're actually in a very far away from home, in a very desolate, deserted place. No one is our friend because everybody's in the same situation. Our only friend is Krishna, and he sends his representatives. He sends Guru, or he sends the devotees. If he detects the tinge of sincerity in our heart, he sends his devotees. He sends Guru. He sends Srila Prabhupada. We come in contact with devotees, we come in contact with the books, and then it is up to us what we do with this. But Prabhupada here explains that it's not a passive. We have to engage in Bhagavad Dharma, and this engagement, he gives the process. If you engage in it properly, you will be free from passion and ignorance. And then when you're free from passion and ignorance, you develop Brahmanical qualities. After you develop Brahmanical qualities, you will be situated, you'll become a Vaishnava. And once you're a Vaishnava, then you might develop, awaken love of Godhead. So we have, I thought it was very beautiful how he said that. And I also thought it was very nice how Prabhupada, he proposes the Krishna consciousness movement as an alternative to the world's problems. Actually, this was very much Srila Prabhupada's mood. He didn't want us to just be bhajananandis and retire to our beautiful farms. We have some very beautiful farms all over the world, and just live peacefully and worship the deities that he installed, and just be very happy in our little bubble. Srila Prabhupada, he wanted us to be part of the world. He wanted us to be part of, he said, in the future, the Hare Krishna movement will be regarded as the movement that saved the world. So we have to put ourselves out there. We have to think about solutions for the problems of the world. Of course, we have to find solutions for our own problems first. But this was Prabhupada's wish, and this was Prabhupada's purpose. And he said his books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. He's offering this to humanity. And he's saying this is the only way that we can see. Otherwise, everybody is in Tamaguna, in Rajaguna. These gunas are always fighting among themselves for superiority. So people who are in those gunas are also fighting for superiority. And we can see this is the state of the world. Everybody's at war. Everybody wants to establish that their way of thinking is the right way of thinking. No, we should be more liberal. No, liberals have very fanatic way of seeing things, and there's like everybody thinks that their way of saying things is superior, and as long as actually we have this notion that my opinion is superior to your opinion, then we're completely under the influence of the gunas, and while we're under the influence of the gunas, we cannot actually see things as they are. Prabhupada also sometimes describes these gunas are like shades. We see everything through the influence of these gunas. Like if you wear pink sunglasses, everything looks pink. Doesn't mean everything is pink. So similarly, if you're under the influence of the gunas, you see everything from this perspective, and you are completely wrong because it's not what you're seeing. So therefore, Prabhupada is suggesting we should remove these glasses. We should position ourselves above the gunas. We have to try to overcome this. To engage in Krishna consciousness, to understand that everything belongs to Krishna, and the actual opinion that actually valid is Krishna's opinion. We do not need to try and establish our opinion. We do not need to try and establish our ownership. We do not need to try and establish, our ideas. We are right. We know. No, we just need to propose Krishna consciousness. And I also thought it was interesting. Prabhupada here uses the word God a few times. Usually Prabhupada always prefers to use the word Krishna. But I guess he's trying to appeal to people who call him God. He's saying, according to the doctrine of communism, the state should be the proprietor of everything. But the Krishna consciousness movement, expanding the same idea, accepts God is the proprietor of everything. People cannot understand this because they have no sense of God. But the Krishna consciousness movement can help them to understand God. So we have a big task. We have to make people understand the concept of God. What is God? What is Krishna? It's quite interesting. And to understand that everything belongs to God. Since everything is the property of God, and all living entities, not only human beings, but even animals, birds, plants, and so on, are children of God, everyone has the right to live at the cost of God with God consciousness, Prabhupada says. Otherwise, there's a beautiful pastime. Prabhupada was, I think it was in Bombay, I'm not sure. And he met a rich industrialist. He was manufacturing glass. So Prabhupada asked him, how do you make the glass? So he said, with sand. He explained the whole process of how to make glass. You heat the sand and it melts and it becomes glass. And Prabhupada said, okay, but who is the owner? He said, the company was founded by my father. No, who is the owner? And then at the end, Prabhupada said, you're a thief. Why? Because you're stealing the sand. The sand belongs to Krishna. Therefore you should donate money to Krishna. Because otherwise you're a thief. So Prabhupada is explaining everything belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to God. And as his children, we have a right to use it. But we have to be Krishna conscious. In consciousness of God. We have a right to use the Krishna's property, but we have to be conscious of God. And actually, when we live in community or when we live together in a temple, we can see that our real challenge that we face is this lack of consciousness. If everybody is more conscious, we would be very careful to turn off the lights, to leave the place clean, because if we understand that this is Krishna's home, this is Krishna's temple, then we become conscious. We don't forget to turn off the lights or to waste maybe prasadam or to wait. If we become more conscious that everything belongs to Krishna and everything has to be utilized for Krishna, then we will actually solve most of our problems. So I think I'll end it here. I'm very happy to have been given this opportunity today. This is a beautiful, beautiful purport. Thank you so much. I'll open up for questions or comments, or if somebody wants to add something, please do so.
Thank you for the wonderful class. I never realized how communism is connected with Shitas actually. I thought in my conception, communism is better than capitalism in some ways, because there is this mindset of at least there is a collective mindset, whereas capitalism is more self-centered. But this here gives another angle of looking at it, and Prabhupada always brought the perspective to understand that.
Prabhupada proposes communism, but with Krishna at the center. And it's actually interesting, if you actually look at the communist models that we have seen in the world, they have all collapsed. Because actually what happens is the communist leader after a while forgets that everything belongs to everybody. And he or she or they abuse their power. And you can see the rest of the population is suffering and they're living like kings. And this is so-called communism today as we see it. So actually, because we don't, it is actually the conditioning of the living entity, because we don't accept Krishna as the enjoyer and the proprietor, then ultimately we think we are the proprietor and the enjoyer. So if you come to this position, then you think, I worked very hard, I led this country, and now, of course I should have the best cars and the best food and live in palaces, and the people, they should work. And we see like this happens, but this is because of conditioning of the living entity. If we do not accept Krishna as the proprietor and the proprietor of everything, the proprietor and enjoyer of everything, then we ultimately think we are the proprietor and enjoyer of what we have. So we see it happening again and again. So Prabhupada is saying the only solution is understanding that everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be used for Krishna. And if you have the Krishna consciousness, you can enjoy. Prabhupada says, devotees, we enjoy the sweet fruits, prasadam, beautiful temples. We can build. Prabhupada, he built many beautiful big temples, opulent temples. He said it for two reasons. It's a beautiful exchange in Mayapur. He had this little hut. It's still there. He was living in a hut in the front of the property, and he was building the conch building. And somebody asked him, Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, I am happy here. I am very happy in this hut. But if I live in this hut, you will not come to visit me. It's for preaching purposes. We have very opulent deity worship. We have opulent, clean temples, attractive temples. Sometimes we like to offer our spiritual masters, a nice watch, or some devotees like to. It's okay. Devotees can use it, but we always understand that this is not my watch. Or Prabhupada never identified with any of, he was very happy in his little hut in Navadvip, very happy in his skyscraper in Manhattan. We had a building in Manhattan, or in his beautiful temple in Bombay, Vrindavan. Prabhupada, he was equally satisfied because he understood everything belongs to Krishna. So this is the key, understanding who is the proprietor and enjoyer of everything. Then we will be able to. Otherwise we're conditioned. Otherwise we're under the trap of Maya. This is her snare on us to make us believe we are the enjoyers and it belongs to me.
About this spiritual communism, this is very clear that this is the goal we should reach. But then I was thinking, not everyone will become Krishna conscious.
Mm.
And isn't it more favorable for the society to evolve in a communism rather than capitalism? Because I have the understanding that capitalism reinforces the selfishness, and so we are fully independent of God and from anyone. We are, we build our own success, and we take from others. There is no mindset of giving to someone, of collective. So
yeah, according to here, Prabhupada compares it to Tama and Rajaguna when he says communism is Tamaguna. So it is preferable that people be in Rajaguna rather than in Tamaguna. So according to that idea, it is preferable that people be capitalists than communists. Because actually, at the end of the day, communists are also capitalists. They want materialist communists, I'm saying. They want to enjoy, they want their country to develop, or just their party, actually. Sometimes it just doesn't even go much further than that. It's difficult because it's all because of the conditioned state. So the problem is the conditioned state, really, and that's the three modes of material nature. So unless because only actually when someone is in sattva guna, he can be really equiposed. And if you are a leader in the lower modes, you might be a very good leader, but you will commit mistakes. And ultimately, unless you're striving to position yourself in sattva guna, on a Brahminical point, actually the leaders of society were the Brahmanas, because they are in sattva guna, and then the Kshatriyas they go to war and they administer, because it's too much hard work for a Brahmana to sit down and make numbers and take decisions, and so the Kshatriyas do that, but they always do it. The Brahmanas tell them what to do. No, this is right, this is this, because they're equiposed and they're not lusty or greedy. The Brahmanas, a Kshatriya can be lusty and greedy. Therefore, he has to take advice from a Brahmana. He can tell them, no, this is not yours. You cannot go to war now. You have to stop. Oh, we're reading in Bhagavatam, the demigods, they were in war, and they started killing the demons, like massacring them, and they were going for it. And Narada Muni had to come and say, okay, stop. You already won the war. Don't continue killing them. This is the duty of a Brahmana, to keep the Kshatriyas in check. So, but it's actually sattva guna that has to dominate. In this age of Kali is very difficult because it's inexistent. And actually, most of the people, Prabhupada said, even people who think that they're in Rajaguna, they're in Tamaguna. There's just a tinge of Rajaguna. Everybody's in Tamaguna in complete ignorance. So even these capitalists, they're very much influenced by Tamaguna also. Yeah. Actually, Vaishyas, they want to produce wealth, and they want everybody to be wealthy. They say if you're wealthy, I'll be wealthy, because we're exchanging. But as soon as you see this sacking without considering the wealth of the other person, this is tamaguna. This is no longer capitalism. This is already something else. Because in order for capitalism to work properly, everybody should be wealthy. Everybody should be prosperous. In order for it to work properly. Because who will you exchange with if they have nothing to offer? You're supposed to, the commerce is supposed to be like this. You're supposed to, so if you completely sack somebody, this is already no longer, because then how will you continue your commercial activity if they have nothing to offer? You've basically left them with poisoned their water, poisoned their land, taken away whatever there already was, that maybe there's more, but it hasn't been found yet. Or in order to find something, we completely contaminate the whole country. bring them diseases, and okay, it will work maybe for some years, and then you'll have nobody to commerce with. So you're destroying actually your own. Yeah, so this is actually in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, Tamaguna actually leads to eventually destroying your own prosperity also. You destroy everything around you, and you destroy your own prosperity because you're so ignorant and so covered. You don't. It's in the Bhagavad Gita when they describe the nature of the three gunas. Describes that Tamaguna destroys everything. So we can see this is happening. Yeah, this is no big secret. You just open any newspaper and immediately you see, everybody so mercilessly destroying each other without consideration, without compassion, without so many grudges, some inability to forgive and move on, or we bring up things from the thousands of years. People are still struggling and fighting, and they don't care to kill whoever is there or not there, or this is my land, this is our land, it was our, or we have rights over these resources. This is demoniac mentality, and absolutely no compassion, no regard, no what does a 3-year-old child have to do with 2,000-year-old claim on land? Why should he be receiving bombs? But this is the demoniac nature. There's absolutely no. Therefore, the only solution is the Krishna consciousness movement. The only solution is understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, and we should use everything for Krishna's purpose. And if we actually see each other as children of Krishna, as children of God, we will naturally be more inclined to be compassionate towards each other. If you see each other as kinsmen, where at the end of the day we're all children of Krishna, then it's easier to share with your brothers than with strangers. But we have to develop, we really have to feel this, we really have to develop this vision, that everybody is children of Krishna. We should protect them, or we should help them, or we should share with them whatever we have. Yeah. So everything in this world is, Prabhupada says it's the example also that everything is upside down. So what should be right is wrong. It's all c'est tout à l'envers. Everything is topsy-turvy. And we should treat each other with compassion. We should share, but we just want to keep for us, and we're like, no, this is mine. This is our country. All these immigrants are coming, and we develop this way of thinking, and actually in the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada speaks about philanthropists. He said so-called philanthropists, that they might have done something good, but actually Lord Chaitanya has done the greatest philanthropy work, because he gives us the solution to all problems. The Sankirtan movement. So we have a tall order. Again, we have a very big responsibility. I saw the other day, there's this calendar, every day they post something that Prabhupada said on that day. I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago. The 1st of February. Prabhupada said we should develop a perfect character. If we develop a perfect character, people will appreciate us, and then we can help them. If people appreciate you, it's easier to tell them what to do. So we have a very big responsibility to developing a perfect character, to coming out of the material, giving up lust and anger and greed, coming out of Tamaguna, Rajaguna, becoming stable, developing the Brahminical qualities, becoming a Vaishnava, and an awakening love of God. So, this is the program. Anyway, anybody else wants to say something? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande.